Team Liquid's turn to ban.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Captain Shot 3.0 presented by Dota Cinema and Moondog TV. My name is Sunsfan, joined by Purge and Pimp Muckle on Observer/Production. This is game 2 of a best of 3 for the group stage. Team Liquid versus Vega Squadron. Team Liquid lost game 1. By the way, their logo has a horse in it. They're in Group Hippo. Don't get that confused, guys.
It's bias right there. You know that they'd play better if they're in Group Horse, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Well, okay, so Empire also has a horse, and they're in Group Horse. So we had to split them up. It didn't seem fair, you know?
Especially biased when you steal their best player, you son of a bitch!
Actually, there's a lot of...
anything to defend yourself?
There's a lot of preconceived notions about that, and all I can say is, for people that don't understand how it works behind the scenes, I think you're giving owner, in this case, me, way too much credit for something like that.
Oh, I know what went down, dude. You showed up in Russia, you put a handgun into the small of somebody's back, and you said, resolution or I blow your spine in two.
Technically, it's Ukraine, okay? How dare
Is he Ukrainian? I thought he was Russian.
Yeah. No, he's Ukrainian.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
He lives in Ukraine, I guess. I don't know for sure.
So you paid somebody to go to Ukraine and threaten blowing somebody's spine into and making them a paraplegic for the rest of their life.
That's rough stuff.
That's dirty, dude. I can't believe you did that.
Are these the kind of wet dreams you have? My goodness.
You are messed up. I can't believe you do that just for esports money. That's
bro, anything for esports. It's so few and far between, you know. You gotta do what you can. But anyway, back to the game, Purge. We could talk about me all day, you know how much I love that. But game 1 went to Vega Squadron in very convincing fashion. Like at the beginning of the game, it was 15-6 or something like that. Vega was up. It looked like it was getting out of control, but if you looked at the net graph, it was actually quite even with without the towers involved. But
yeah, both teams farmed really rapidly. It just came down to ganks in the early mid game. And Vega outganked them, and it led them to a position where they started taking team fights, and they're already up against a team fight hero disadvantage, and it just kept going better and better in their favor. And I don't blame them for first picking Tiny here. Like Captain's Draft, one of the things that it presents is that you're not necessarily going to get the heroes that you want in perfect compositions, and there will be weaknesses. So the games are slightly more public, and you saw it last game. It's all about ganks, and Tiny doesn't care what hero you are. He's gonna one-shot you. The only thing that's gonna keep you alive is HP.
You know what heroes in the pool every single time, and nobody picks up a Centaur. How about some freaking Centaur, bro? Huh? What's wrong with this hero? Why does everybody hate him? He needs a buff, I guess.
It's hard to land your stun. I mean, you either need to be 6 or you need a blink dagger in most cases.
Yep.
Not if you have a Tiny though.
That's true. Dual lane that, man. Centaur carry, Tiny support.
Do you remember those dual lanes? The tiny Centaur dual lane? Those were so obnoxious. Right when Centaur came out.
Absolutely. I mean, that is old school too from Dota 1. Like when he had his old passive ult. Greater testicular fortitude, as I like to call it. All right, a hero that I'm predicting, I don't know for which team, I just want to see it. I guess it's more hopeful than anything, is Terrorblade. I don't know why.
There was a Terrorblade yesterday.
No, I'm saying in this game I want to see it. I don't know. I enjoy watching Terrorblade.
It's kind of bad versus Nyx Assassin as well, so I don't think there's not very many games where Terrorblade is the right hero.
Right.
I think.
How about this? How about they make it more interesting for you? I want to see a Dagon Terrorblade.
There's no way they'll do that. It's just not gonna happen.
Right, I'll settle for
that build's good for
Bloodseeker.
like 5 minutes tops.
Dude, in pubs it's great though, because nobody gets vision.
It's really not good.
All right, lower level. Just lowering my standards.
You'd have to buy a Dagon, and you'd have to buy a Blink or a Shadow Blade.
Yeah, Shadow
Blade. Or have
Blade's
a Tiny on your team. Where are you getting that 5,000 gold?
Bro, it's terrible.
It's actually 6,000. It's like 5,800 gold. Where are you getting that? Not to mention your boots, and then you're running around with 600
Wait, have you never
HP.
tried this, bro? In low level pubs? Come on. Get a Smurf.
I'm sorry, I don't play in low level pubs.
Okay, that's a big burn right there from the great Purge himself. You know, you cater towards the noobs, Purge. You should be catering to people playing Terrorblade this way.
The build literally only works if you're smurfing. It's just not good.
All right,
you're running around with 600 HP and
yes!
6,000 net worth.
Vega Squadron's
turn.
You okay?
We have Bane, who's basically a horse, and then Centaur, who's half horse, half amazing. Liquid's amazing. I'm rooting for Liquid here now. As Pimp is maniacally laughing at it.
Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, I can hear that.
Pimp, I can hear you.
The joke wasn't even that amazing. It was like kind of okay, but...
Well, it wasn't really a joke. That's how I actually feel. The funny thing about the joke is that you guys don't actually get what the reference is, but that's because you're not NBA
song?
fans. No, it's a Vince Carter reference. Nobody knows what we're talking about, so we're gonna move on. Abaddon is a pickup for Vega Squadron.
Like, you can remove any of the stuns from Team Liquid, whether that's going to be Centaur or whether or not that's Fiend's Grip. So Weaver, this is going to be a Weaver Abaddon dual lane most likely, and they can be really aggressive with them. Ogre Magi also picked up. They just have they have really good laning here, and they're going to transition very nicely into roaming. Their team fight's not amazing per se, but their gank is really good. They can glimpse back if they're chasing the enemy team.
Yeah.
Like the Centaur charge is not going to be that useful against Disruptor.
I hate to say it, this is not the Centaur game, guys. Don't let this change your opinion of Centaur. Not a good game. Naga Siren, last pick. Is this a carry Naga?
I think it's going to be mid Naga Siren, Centaur carry, Nyx as an offlane, jungle Enigma, and Bane covering Centaur. That way,
did you say Centaur carry? Did you just say that?
I said Centaur carry. This is going to be Centaur carry, dude.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
Because Centaur kind of needs more work than just a single... Like, getting the fast blink dagger is pretty important, especially against the lineup they're currently against. So I think it'll be Centaur carry with Bane support, and they'll try to get a faster blink that way. And they'll be able to lane better against the Weaver and the Abaddon that way.
Alright, well, Matumba Man picked Naga. I don't see Fata playing Centaur, though.
Oh.
That is... I would love to see it, don't get me wrong, but it's very unusual. This is actually... I have no idea who Fata's going to... He's going to play Centaur! Oh! Dude, okay. Radiance is the build, okay? You go Radiance. Not on Naga. That's way better on Naga. You go on Centaur, alright? Alright, this is the actual build, Perch. It's going to sound super standard.
But continue.
Okay. Tranquils, you get Blink. Force Staff is an option, not necessary. It's luxury. Oh, I shouldn't say it's luxury, because you kind of want something to farm if you're going to be the one. The question is, what do you get? Obviously, you can get Blade, Mail, Heart, and all that good stuff, but Tranquil, that's not fast enough farm, you see.
Village thing.
What is equivalent to a Centaur aside from Radiance? Like, tell me the equivalent to Radiance.
What are you asking?
Like,
how do you farm rapidly?
Well, because no, because you can't get Radiance this game because there's Naga. Like, Naga has to get it, right? So what do you get? I'm not saying he's going to do this, but what if you want to farm on Centaur and you can't get Radiance? What do you get?
Farm
you just
heroes.
Farm heroes. Okay, that's not the answer I was looking for. I was hoping for you rush Heart and then you just double edge everything and heal up immediately.
How do you rush Heart, dude? That's like a 5,500.
Yeah, you rush it. You rush it real good.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Radiance is freaking good, so people rush that, right?
If he really wants to farm fast, the best thing you get is Iron Talon.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
It'll kill the high HP creeps. Kind of similar to jungling with Axe. You do AoE physical, so you lower the HP of the large ones while attacking them with the quelling. That's by far going to be the best way. So if he's going carry, I think definitely we'll see Iron Talon. I really think that it's going to be Naga mid, maybe. Unless Tiny's there, then I guess it's kind of dangerous. Would be better in that matchup, but I'm not sure. I guess.
I mean, this says I hope I'm wrong, which I usually am, so pretty good chance of this happening. But Centaur is a terrible pick this game. I hate it. I mean,
unless he wins.
I mean, look, just on paper, of course, anything can happen because it's freaking Fata playing Centaur, so he's amazing in every single sense of that word. But like, Stampede, it just doesn't feel good at all. Like, if you want to use it to initiate, you have super tanky heroes on Vega. Like, nobody's easy to kill, especially when Weaver gets that Lincoln Sphere that he's inevitably going to get. If you're trying to run away, and you have Abaddon, of course, for save, and if you're running away, you have Glimpse.
But what about the fact that there's very few stuns on Vega? It's basically Ogre stun and Avalanche, and that's it. They don't have any other stuns, so if they're running away, I feel like they can actually escape.
You're saying if Liquid is running away?
Yeah, which makes Stampede good.
Well, I'm talking about Glimpse. Well, Glimpse is the complete counter to that, right?
Yeah, but that's only
good
one
enough.
Person. It can be. There will be some times this game, I guarantee, where they can Stampede away and Vega won't be able to catch, or they initiate poorly and they try to initiate with like a ignite or something and they just run away.
All right, real prediction time. Okay, this is what I actually think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna go Blink into Ags. He's gonna rush Ags because it's actually amazing this game. If you mitigate all the damage or most of the damage from Tiny.
Yeah, and Ogre, you can do it during its toss as well, and definitely you can definitely stop that damage.
Yeah, for sure.
So basically, you went from saying the dumbest thing ever to completely calling for the most standard build ever for a carry Centaur. Sick man.
I'm a Centaur connoisseur, Purge. Thank you.
Okay.
I at one point was 6th on the list of best Centaurs in the world, and then
That what
people
happened?
actually started playing it,
Okay.
and I dropped to. Well, I'm not top 100, so the drop was considerable, unfortunately. I think I went Radiance one too many times, and I mean it's rough. It's a rough life for Centaur.
I get it. I understand. They should be able to get this rune here. I
Oh,
doubt
Fata, take it. Yes.
He's just going mid Centaur. Probably going to go fast bottle, I guess, that he can spam with stomps, which is not going to be terrible against Tiny.
That's okay. Haven't seen a mid Centaur in a while. I've never actually played Centaur mid, believe it or not.
Think how fast you get Stampede, dude. And then your tri-lane is all like
Yeah.
level 3, and then they run max movement speed.
Alright.
OP.
I'm supposed to be unbiased here, but it's not possible. It's Centaur, guys. I care more about, like, if my team was playing, I'd be rooting for Centaur if Liquid was playing it against them. That's how much I love Centaur. So we're gonna try to move on though. So we'll take a look at the CS here very shortly, how the Centaur compares to the Tiny. I mean, it's melee versus melee, so I would assume Centaur does okay, but we'll see. Actually, what do you think?
He'll do okay, unless when the supports come, it gets a little bit hard because Centaur it's harder for him to land his stun. But if he does get a bottle and he gets a little bit of rune control, he can do better, for sure.
I assume he's just not going to go return at all. Until he
Probably
maxes out
not.
stun.
It's just not worth it, you know. Like the extra burst damage is just too important. The extra stun duration, while not severe, can make a difference, and it's going to allow him to last hit better. It's going to allow him to harass the Tiny better. So bottle's on the way.
I'm questioning whether he gets tranquils. I like how we were still talking about Centaur. I just can't help myself.
You could skip it this game. He does get a return point, by the way.
Oh really?
I don't think it's terrible to have. 30% bonus damage is doing like actually like 25 damage or something. That's not bad. Plus Tiny is a very low armor hero, so anytime that he does hit the Centaur, he's taking about 50% of that damage in return.
That's true. He's not going to be right-clicking him that often though. Maybe it's more for the support potential ganking. As top lane, Jerax taking an ignite to the face, but Mag is going to take a little bit of damage in return. And the Abaddon is he farming this lane? Solo's usually the support, but
I'm a little surprised they didn't put the Weaver up here, I guess, but they didn't really have another carry, and it was safer to put him in the safe lane, I guess.
What, we're talking about bottom now? What?
Well, I thought it was going to be Weaver plus Abaddon in the off lane, because that's such a good combo,
yeah.
but they ended up not putting it together. They put the two super tanky Ogre plus Abaddon. So rather than having the offensive potential, they just put two ultra tanky guys that can be aggressive and die.
Yeah, they're not going to die. There's no way. But yeah, Solo is definitely farming this lane, so that's interesting to see that Mag is playing support this game, but I would definitely I mean, actually, I want to hear your opinion, because I know you're an Ogre fan, but I think Abaddon getting farm is just so strong.
It's pretty strong. I think Ogre is a decent farmed hero, but not an amazing one. And I would say Abaddon is slightly better than he is for farm, for sure. Ogre doesn't need that much. He's more of like level dependent than he is about farm dependent, because his base strength is just so high. He just needs like a soul ring and a tranquil boots, and then he doesn't really care what his farm level is in a lot of cases.
So Abaddon has the option of going Aghanim Scepter this game as well, when we're comparing to the Centaur. That's another type thing where you have,
he doesn't have Nightmare. He could die here.
Oh my, level 1 Curse of Avernus so strong, and Jerax is going to be first blood one way or another. They could literally dive this tower if they needed to, but it's not really going to be the case. As first blood goes the way of Vega Squadron, they're going to turn their sights on Matumbo Man now. Don't think they can dive this time, but probably they have potential later on for sure.
Curse of Avernus plus an Orb of Venom, it just makes the two heroes so strong, and they both have boots advantage over the Bane, and Bane is just out of position there. You should have anticipated that they were going to do something aggressive like that, but it's hard to anticipate the Curse of Avernus buff, man. That 15% movement speed bumps for those two heroes means they easily chase you down.
Bot lane in the meantime, looks like Nyx is going to spill to the ground. Is that 2 kills now for Vega? Something I also wanted to bring up, the Curse of Avernus, probably one of the more underrated spells in the game. I think it's super good. Put it in combination with Bloodlust. Tiny is going to be, or even Weaver for that matter, is going to be hitting so fast.
Good point. But it comes down to Abaddon being able to get the hit in. In a lot of cases, he's going to be running around or attacking somebody that the other person is not going to be able to. So it's a great skill. It really amps up your team a bit, but it is on a melee hero, and that's the issue for Abaddon.
We didn't really even talk about Kuroki in the jungle, but he's almost level 6 at the 4.5 minute mark on Enigma.
That's
is
good.
insane.
Completely standard, actually. You're
Okay,
supposed to hit
good.
6 by 4.5.
Really?
Yep.
Seems ridiculous.
On dire side, you just farm between large camp and medium camp back and forth. If you do it correctly, you can hit 6 by 4.5. So
Oh, looks like
I'm
he
sure
wants
he'd
to
love
gank
to have
this
black
top
hole
lane.
here.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't quite have enough to leech. And the gank is not going to do anything,
That was
actually.
gross. I really wish he just hit 6 here in the jungle before he did that gank, because all
Oh,
he's
he's getting chased now, too.
he's not 6 yet.
And with the ignite, there we have the Centaur ult. OP, guys, just remember in your pubs as he's going to transition here. Fata gets the hoof stomp on Mag. Double edge to follow, and down goes the Ogre Magi.
Level 6 Centaur, man, it's good. Like, how do you play against Stampede that early in the game? So difficult.
That is great point. Honestly, that's another underrated skill, I feel like, that people don't really think about that often, but it's pretty low cooldown too. Like, what is it, 90 seconds level 1, I think? Yeah, 90, 75,
Yeah,
60.
it's not bad. It's a haste every, mid players when they get haste, it's like a guaranteed 1 or 2 kills in the off lane or whatever lane they gank. To do that every time it's up, it's so amazing. And now he goes back to farming. His levels are very high. He's gonna be able to get blink really rapidly. I
Well,
completely agree.
the thing I love about it is that it scales really well too, damage-wise, because the more strength you get, the more damage it's going to do for literally every single one of your teammates that goes through somebody. So if you get like that double heart combo, man, or I guess the more logical one would be Heart Scotty. It actually does ridiculous damage as well.
I guess that's pretty good. If you get a heart, it increases the damage by 120 magic. It's all right.
It's great.
It would already do probably at least like 300 at that point, so it's okay.
Oh, bottom lane, we have the glimpse into a kinetic field. Mind control is just going to TP out.
It's nicely done. It's the only disable they have there. Basically, avalanche, toss, glimpse, or fire blast. It's the only way they have to remove or to stop TPs. So.
Okay, time to educate me, Purge. Since I mean, Enigma is not commonly played at all, and I don't know if anything's changed, but is Midnight Pulse this early normal?
It's pretty normal just because if you need to set up a gank or something, or you need to cut trees as you approach somebody, then using Midnight Pulse is really useful. The extra point of Malefice, it helps, but it doesn't like completely change the game, so it's very common to go 1-4-1 on this hero. I just really wish that Crow was 6 when he ended up shifting over for that top gank. He could have gotten a kill a little easier.
Yeah.
You can't really use Malefice level 1 is awful, it does almost nothing.
Well, looking at the CS, we're going to compare the carries. 40 and 8 for Weaver. And the other side, Matumba Man, 22 and 0. So he is having a lot of trouble in this lane. It is against a very, very tanky Ogre Magi, and Abaddon are just going to chase him off yet again.
And you got Bloodlust F4 here, which is a good idea. It's a very mana-expensive spell in the early game if you're playing Ogre, but the advantage and the synergy that it puts you with a Abaddon is just amazing. Like, you get so much out of the hero here. And now with phase boots, like, he's running at maximum speed. He's running at 522 when he uses phase. Like, how do you lane against that now?
Pretty sick. Pretty sickening. Alright, Centaur update, guys. Fata is going for a hood into a pipe in all likelihood. It's obviously really good against the magic damage of Vega, mostly Tiny and Ogre.
Kind of a cool build because it's actually going to keep him, make sure that he doesn't die in feed. He's not going to get a fast blink dagger, but at level 6 so early that in some ways he doesn't need the blink yet because he can just use Stampede for any gank that he does.
Yeah.
And he's definitely not going to get solo killed by Tiny once he gets a hood.
That is kind of an
almost all
older
the
school
damage
build
is
too,
weak.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I used to go. Kuroki's going to transition in top lane, looking for the black hole, going to get stunned up. Here comes Tiny, though, with the avalanche toss and Stampede to counter into an impale from Mind Control on top of the solo black hole. Actually, a two-person black hole. They're going to find the Tiny pretty damn easily. Kuroki, in the meantime, is going to trade his life. More transition as Pasha is here to save the day. They're going to take 2 kills in response to that Tiny death.
It was a great black hole, but allowed everybody on Vega to TP in, and now things are really scary for them. Pasha's going to chase.
Now we have the glimpse. He's not going to get caught inside the kinetic field, though, and Mind Control is level 6, so we'll just pop his ult and be fine.
He had to mango for that, but it's going to be worth it overall, keeping yourself alive. 2 heroes dying there. They got the Tiny. Not a good trade there for Liquid. They did lose out about 400 gold difference there, but it's not the end of the world.
Alright, so what I was saying, for the Centaur, we're just going to keep going back to this over and over, but it is interesting. This is the old build. You go hood first and then blink later. It's not usual for mid, I don't think. Although we don't see mid very often.
Yeah.
But I mean, hood is super good because it also lowers the damage to yourself from double edge. And now that you you can cast Hood on yourself.
Yeah.
Mitigates pretty much an entire cast.
It's 325. It's massive. The amount of survivability you get from this ability, or from this item now. For 2,000 gold, if you can increase your HP by 325, it's amazing. Really good item now. I don't know if he'll finish the full pipe because he's not going to have the mana for that. Because Centaur is naturally a very low mana hero. But just having the Hood instead of a Tranquil Boots, because he was in a farming mid-core, to say like, yeah, whatever, I'll just get Hood instead of Tranquils. It's going to do about the same thing. It's going to make me way more survivable against their heroes. And then I can get a blink afterwards. It's a really smart choice.
He's gonna get ganked, gets the hoof stomp off, but
it's not gonna
here
do
comes
shit.
the rest of Vega Squadron. He pops the Hood on himself.
It did
into an
shit.
avalanche. Yeah, they helped, but
only took 3 heroes. This is the appropriate time to all chat.
That was 4 heroes, bro. Come on.
That was actually a lot of damage, and it did do the damage. The only thing he's kind of missing now is a little bit of armor. He tanked a lot of that damage, though. It was pretty significant.
And they're going to take this tier 1 tower as well, so Vega Squadron looking quite strong yet again. And I mean, the one issue, though, with going the Hood on Centaurs mean that you're not going to have that initiation from the blink early, which is troublesome, to say the least.
I mean, most of that came down to the fact that Fado was playing too confident. He was sitting in the lower river, he got initiated on by an ogre stun. He was like, oh, I'm Centaur, I'm not gankable, but they threw down a lot of stuns, they do the silence afterwards.
Alright, Kuroki just taking a look behind the trees, and, well, he'll find a Tiny who just blows him up. In the meantime, Mind Control pops the Spike Carapace, and Vendetta. Kinetic Field will hold him in place. Do they have any vision? There's the Sentry finally placed into an Avalanche Toss, and yet another kill goes the way of Vega Squadron. That's a blink for Tiny.
Bro's just making a couple weird mistakes this game. Again, the gank top where he wasn't 6 yet and he could have finished 6 and then done the gank and guaranteed a kill. Messed up there, and now walking behind the tower and looking for enemy heroes. There's too many burst heroes on their opponents. They have too many heroes that can chase. Can't just like let yourself get Avatos there. I don't know if he saw the TP, it might have been blocked by trees or something, but it just seemed like an overly dangerous thing to do when your mech wasn't completed. He's got it now. He bought the components before he died, but man, they're just giving Vega some free kills here.
Yeah, and this looks to be yet another tower going the way of Vega Squadron, so unfortunately this fortification will not help for Liquid. It just delay the inevitable. As we're looking at the net worth, it is going to be about 5,000 after that tower is taken out in favor of Vega. And
well, Matumba Man's still farming a little bit. He's definitely behind, but he can come back, and if his team can give him some space, it's going to do a lot for getting him his Radiance. And once he does have Radiance, they're going to be a lot stronger.
Yeah, I was going to ask, that's the only build, right? Radiance?
Yeah, basically. The other builds, I toyed with them before the Radiance build got popularized, and when your illusions die, you just feel worthless if you don't have Radiance. But if you have Radiance, every single one of your illusions does a lot. And not to mention the speed at which you farm is incredible. Like, you have to go Radiance. There's no way you can't.
Well, he's quite a ways away, unfortunately. 1,300 gold right now, and I assume he rushes it, too. There's no point in... Well, I guess you could go like drums and stuff technically, right?
It's not recommended. It's the only way you would ever go that is if you're like stupidly far ahead, maybe. But if you go drum, it doesn't really help you farm that much more rapidly. It's only good for team fights, and what's going to help him the most in a team fight is simply just Radiance.
Well, Tiny right now top lane, along with the Weaver and Abaddon are going to try to take down this tier 2 tower. Bloodlust was used recently on no one, and I want to see him attack once he gets, well, it should be level 1 though still, yeah, level 1 Bloodlust, but still quite good, along with the Curse of Avernus applied to the tower.
Man, Bloodlust on Tiny is so good.
Yeah, it's super.
He's running for 475 with the Curse of Avernus here.
We're going to have TP support. Fata looked for a hoof stomp, not going to find it. Ignited up instead, along with the Swarm. Has to pop his ult, and Tiny's going to come with the Avalanche Toss combination yet again. Fata does not have mana to do anything. Down he goes. Actually, he did have enough to use his Hood. But yet again, not enough.
They lost their hero, but the tower's not dead. The Vega actually accidentally did not kill it right before they TP'd. It was one hit away.
Oh,
so they'll TP somebody now and deny it. Maybe if Otto's paying attention. He's last hitting right now. Oh no, he didn't deny it.
He'll be back. Don't worry, bro. Either way, though,
Rosh.
this Roshan is looking for the way of Vega.
That Swarm was so good against Rosh. It lowered his armor by like 12 or something, and it tanked Rosh for like 10 seconds there.
And I assume the Aegis is going to go the way of Tiny. I think Weaver would also be a pretty good move. What's that?
I'm curious what Weaver's building looks like. Bit booster with the Lincolns or something. It
Kind
also
of
looks like a Vanguard,
one, right?
but
Just
yeah, very old school. But I think their team is quite survivable, so if he just survives ganks, he can get
Dire's
farmed.
middle tower is
I'm not
under
sure.
attack.
Mind control, looking to...
Maybe it's Aetherlands,
Defend
so you
here.
can throw the swarm farther.
That sounds just awful.
The range isn't far enough, you might need the Aetherlands, dude. Check that
That
out.
sounds... Well, okay. Thing about Aether Lens, no, absolutely not. You know what? He could go, not with those components, but he could go Dragonlance because you will take it apart and get a BKB and Butterfly. It's actually here you can think about getting it on.
I don't think Butterfly is usually the item on Weaver. The evasion isn't as important as just raw HP is. But Dragonlance sounds okay on Weaver. It doesn't sound terrible, but it's kind of unnecessary because you can already position very well with Suguchi. So sounds like a bad choice.
Thanks.
It's like a typical Suns fan item.
Yeah,
build.
thanks, bro.
Radiant's middle tower is
Dragonlance,
under
great.
attack.
Roki's going to take out this tower mid.
Has fallen.
And he does have the mech, as you mentioned. Question is, what does he want to go next? Does he want to go Blink? Is that the next item of choice, or does he go BKB?
I think based on the enemy team, this looks like a
Dire's
BKB game
bottom
because
tower has fallen.
Avalanche can interrupt it very easily, disrupt ulti, glimpse. There's a lot of things that can mess up what Enigma wants to do.
No, Fata saving for that Blink dagger, but he just feels, I don't want to say useless, but so underwhelming without the Blink on Centaur.
Yeah, like he had such a good early game, but it just didn't transition. He tried to sit mid too long, and he actually did get ganked a few times. He
And
should have
honestly,
rotated
the-
off to gank more.
Hood hasn't really done anything. He's died both times
Yeah.
he's been engaged upon, and he might as well just gone Blink. I mean, it's hindsight 2020 type deal, right? Like, we thought it would be okay because it is an old school build and has worked many a time before, but unfortunately not this time.
Yeah, the only reason it's been bad is because he hasn't been able to naturally transition his levels into ganks. If there were more opportunities, and he took those opportunities for him to go for those ganks, like the first one he did, then it'd be fine, because your Blink Dagger would still come at a reasonable time, but now it's a bit delayed. Can they
Right.
kill this Weaver here?
Oh,
They have
Weaver.
Fiend's Grip. They can just do a stun into Fiend's Grip. He's
Yeah, here
still
we
got
go.
a lot of HP, though. He's got to
Oh,
do... This
Oh,
on him.
man. Asha. Spidey senses are tingling.
Well, you mean his eyes? He saw Bane there.
Okay, they're tingling still. His testicles are tingling. Then something is tingling
would've
on
been-
Weaver right
Dire's
now.
middle
It still would have
tower
been
is
such a
under
hard kill
attack.
there. Like, they would
Well,
have
that's
to
the
do
thing, though.
Brain Sap into Fiend's Grip
Yeah.
to maybe like a Nightmare and then another stun. Probably, and even that you can't do because Post Stomp's at 13
Oh,
seconds.
Matumba man gets Avatos. Oh my god,
Is under attack.
the glimpse was comical if nothing else. That just added insult to injury. His dead body just flew across the map. And yet another. That's a
It's a
big
hard
kill
game,
for
man.
Vega too.
They absolutely limited the farm on the Nago Siren. 17 minutes in, he doesn't quite have it yet, and they're gonna go high ground.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Naga's dead for 24. She definitely does not want to buy back now that she's 900 away from getting that sacred relic. As
Another hero
Kuroki is initiated upon the Stampede will do literally nothing. Literally nothing. Blink Dagger's up on Fata though. They could counter initiate. Impale will connect onto no one, who gets immediately aphotic shielded. Right, just gets pounded to this tier 3.
Like, they're just wailing on the tower. The Curse of Avernus, the Bloodlust, that's everything they need for the Tiny to be a carry already.
Has fallen.
Yeah, he's attacking super fast. Doesn't even have the Aghanim Scepter yet, but
Blink
still
is
doing
up
quite
on
a bit of
Fatal, but he
damage.
got earned. Really nice earn.
Oh my god, as I say that, he gets the Aghanim Scepter, and now the barracks are
Earns
taking
him again.
even more of a beating.
He's got 2 more earns. He just can't even initiate for like 10 more seconds.
So Ranger Axe is dead. Liquid really want to defend this, as here comes the kinetic field. He's just going to toss Nyx out.
Oh, it's going now.
Get the hell out of here. I'm going to take out this Rax. That is the Rax going the way of Vega. As now they go on to Tiny. Gets the Avalanche off to no real avail.
Oh
They're going to
my
find the
God.
Nyx randomly, and they're just going to back off. My goodness.
Just like completely outskilling their opponents here. The earn usage by Mac there was so good. They're going to re-engage though.
You know, Tiny jumps back in, gets the toss, glimpse into the Static Storm and Avalanche. Matumba Man is dead yet again. 3,000 gold in the bank. Kuroki's next on the list. All right, this is not looking good as no one now goes for Jarex. He gets the Brain Sap off. I think he'll live. In fact, gets the Fiend's Grip off. Fata with the Blink, the hoof stomp only on Pasha. He can't get this kill. There's no way. Ay, ay, ay.
And they
This is
dropped
going to
their
be
smoke
2
on the
racks,
ground.
man.
They stole their smoke too. I don't think it matters though. Like, it's not Disruptor, yeah. I don't think it even matters. Like, Liquid's lineup, they didn't cover their safe lane. Their mid did not rotate. And their off lane had kind of a mediocre game. He went 0-3-1. They basically lost all 3 lanes. they didn't transition the Enigma into anything of value. That was the only hero that did really well on the laning stage.
Oh, Fata completely misses Hoof Stomp and will die shortly thereafter.
I don't know, man. Their team is very clearly tilted. They're not playing together this set. I just think after game 1, man, they're just not playing very well.
Nice triple impale from Liquid. Hear the song. Matamaman gets stunned. It's the last ditch effort as there's a black hole onto 3. And Vega taking quite a bit of damage. They only lose 1 though. Solo on the run gets impaled, and down he goes. It's a 2-for-1 at the end of the day. But that toss gets a double kill. Just with literally just toss. Matamaman next on the list. A triple kill for no one. 2 games in a row that he has absolutely dominated on this Tiny. And that is GG.
God. Like, that last fight looked really good with the black hole, but you know, they never even got close to enough of a point where they could do a sleep into black hole combo. It just never happened. Until there, and if the game was anywhere closer, they could have maybe won this game, but the Radiance was so delayed. The Centaur got a blink at a point where it doesn't even matter anymore, and they were already transitioning into a carry role. Like, a Baton had a Vlad's and a mech at 19 minutes. How do you even fight into that? It's not even possible.
It hurts me to watch this Centaur game, Purge. Really does.
Dude, I'm not surprised. I think the Hood was an okay choice, but they just got so wrecked in their